My name is Phyllis Clark. I am Chair of the Board of Directors of Champaign County Healthcare Consumers. This press conference has been called by the Fair Share Coalition to inform you about its plans to address the threats to schools and community service posed by the potential Carle merger. The Fair Share Coalition is a newly established community coalition with a wide variety of organizations and individuals among our membership and supporters, such as the PTAs, teachers, social service agencies, religious groups, unions, government officials, parents, taxpayers, neighborhood groups, and many more, all concerned about the proposed merger. With me from the coalition today are people representing a sampling of the broad range of concerned community members. Each one will have an opportunity to make a statement about what it is that they feel about the Carle merger. Let me introduce the people that's on the table with me here. I have Sue Keller, who is from the Leal School PTA. I have Bob Leach from the United Citizens and Neighbors. I have A.W. Farnsworth from the Illinois Disciples Foundation. We have Rick Prinz from Ask Me, staff representative. He also represents the City of Champaign and City of Urbana employees. We have Claudia Lindhoft, who is the Director of Healthcare Consumers. Okay, we'd like to get this thing started. Sue, would you like to start for us?
Sure, thank you.
Okay.
The Fair Share Coalition was formed in November of 1999 to ensure that Carle responsibly contributes vital resources to our community. Despite merger talks having been put on hold, the possibility of a merger remains, and the Fair Share Coalition continues to gain strength and knowledge in its quest for equity. The threat of a negative impact due to a merger is not over. Dr. James Leonard of Carle used the analogy of buying a house to simply describe their merger process. Continuing this analogy, it's important to emphasize that the homeowner, Carle Clinic, rejected the bid, not the bidder. The process will continue as it was not a philosophical but a business decision. Their concern is building a strong Carle under local leadership. How long can Carle remain strong if its decisions devastate the surrounding communities? At 5 years of age, my children entered the Urbana School District, Leal School in particular, and were immersed in a nurturing environment full of dedicated, bright, and caring staff whose mission it is to help shape our kids' future selves. Everyone at Leal strives to follow a simple set of guidelines called the Leal Rights and Responsibilities, built on the premise that to be happy, healthy, and successful people, we must understand and advocate for our rights in conjunction with exercising our full responsibilities. Children inherently know what is fair, and this sense is strengthened by the knowledge of our individual and collective rights and responsibilities. As public entities, Carle Foundation and Carle Clinic both have rights and responsibilities. If they merge into a not-for-profit charitable organization, they will have additional responsibilities. They will be held accountable by groups such as the Fair Share Coalition. Carle Clinic and Carle Foundation have a right to explore merging. They also have a responsibility to ensure that no negative community impact occurs as a result of this merger. Both sides consistently indicate that a merger would result in a not-for-profit foundation and insinuate that this is the only way to stay viable in our community. Yet they report that the tax-exempt issue is a small factor. Tax-exempt status is given to charitable organizations with the expectation that the tax savings will only partially cover the expense of the community benefiting programs that the agency provides. Regardless of the decision at which the clinic and foundation arrive, they have a responsibility to provide for our community. Not-for-profit agency assets are considered public assets by law. Their substantial reserve of money totaling over $100 million should be overseen by and benefit our community. If you watch a group of children painstakingly dividing up a candy bar to share it equally, it is evident that kids are experts on fairness. My hope is that Carle learns from our children that we all have rights and responsibilities, and fair is fair. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Bob, would you like something to say?
Yes. Hello, my name is Bob Leach, and I represent United Citizens of Neighbors. That's a North Urbana neighborhood organization. A few months back, it was reported in the News Gazette that Carle Foundation was exploring the possibility of a merger with Carle Clinic. Apparently, the for-profit clinic has been operating in the red in recent years and has had to cut back on staff and salaries. One of the ideas of this merger was to change the status of the clinic from a for-profit to a not-for-profit, and then use that not-for-profit status to gain tax exemption for the clinic. Although this would reduce property tax revenue by $650,000 for Urbana schools, $200,000 for the city of Urbana, and $110,000 for Urbana Park District, Carle Foundation assured us that those monies would be forthcoming in the year 2000. It's ironic that a corporation that just a few years back insisted it needed a 20-year development agreement with the city in order to plan for the future thinks that public entities such as the city, our schools, and park district can plan for their futures 1 year at a time. Although the merger proposal was rejected by the clinic board of directors, both the foundation and the clinic have let it be known that things cannot remain the same if these fine organizations are to remain viable assets of the community. The Fair Share Coalition was formed to help in the fight to protect local taxing bodies from revenue loss as a result of any merger now or in the future. It must be noted that to maintain the excellent services provided by the city, schools, and park district, any loss of revenue from a change in the tax-exempt status of Carle Clinic will result in higher taxes for the businesses and citizens of Urbana. In addition, the Fair Share Coalition was formed to explore the responsibilities of all not-for-profit tax-exempt health care providers to the communities in which they reside and which they serve. To this end, we have organized a workshop which we invite any interested parties to attend. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Farnsworth?
My name is A.W. Farnsworth. I am Executive Director of the Illinois Disciples Foundation and campus minister there. You've heard some of the background of the Fair Share Coalition, why it was formed, its goals, and its principles. Allow me to address several additional points. First of all, the conditions that have been driving Carle to seek this merger still exist. While we're relieved that the immediate crisis appears to be over, we are certain that it's only a matter of time before the efforts at merger will resurface. It appears to me that Carle was surprised at the shock in the community and the outrage against this effort at tax exemption. I believe they thought it just might slip through without much protest. It will arise again. If I might lift a passage from my life in ministry with Jesus in the wilderness, the temptation departed, only awaiting a more opportune time. The opportune time will come when Carle will seek again this merger. One of the things that disturbs me most is that nowhere in any of the news reports of Carle's merger deliberations has there been any concern shown for what is best for the community, the public schools that this merger will severely devastate, and the other community service organizations. Nowhere in this matter has there been any sense of obligation to the community shown by Carle Foundation or Carle Clinic. From what I have said, and from what I have read in the past, Carle has appeared to use the fact that they were a tax-paying organization to build a very fine reputation here in Champaign-Urbana. It was an advertising tool for them, but now that it has benefited them to the fullest extent, they are now seeking to get out of paying their fair share of the taxes that support the infrastructure of our community and the schools, our young people, our parks. Tax-exempt status should not be manipulated as a way for a corporation to avoid paying taxes, but rather should instead reflect an ongoing and historical commitment to provide charitable services and resources to the community wherein it survives. Fair Share believes that tax-exempt organizations have a greater responsibility, a greater obligation to the community that grants them this privilege. Institutions that pay no taxes are, in a sense, a public trust asset, and they need to work collaboratively with the community to ensure that those community needs are met, that their resources are allocated in the very best possible way to benefit the whole community. We do not see Carle wanting to work together with the community to see that the needs of our schools, the healthcare needs of our very poor are met. We would like to see this. One way they might accomplish this is through a community benefits program, where resources can be used to address the many unmet health needs of the people in this community, where our schools could be more adequately funded rather than less adequately funded, where support could be assured for other public and human service organizations. And let me emphasize that this matter is not over. And if the Champaign-Urbana community chooses to sleep through these next several months, Carle will be able to gain unfettered this tax-exempt status. The people and other businesses in this community will see their taxes rise, the quality of their services decrease. So I would encourage Carle to unite with the concerned community organizations, such as the Champaign County Healthcare Consumers, Fair Share, and others, to work cooperatively to determine how the combined assets of this community could be used to address unmet needs. This recent crisis has highlighted how very vulnerable our communities are to the business plans and the decisions of large healthcare providers. We've learned much from other communities, how they are addressing these issues, how they are proceeding forward in the best interest of the whole community. Although we have learned a lot, we have learned that there is much more to learn. Learn about the Community Benefits Program and how it might help this community. So we as a community need to educate ourselves. We need to prepare ourselves for the large challenges ahead. I have been a member of a service organization, Rotary, for the past 25 years. I believe that our civic organizations in this community need to gather together and participate in this process, to work cooperatively together. I urge the people of this community to call Fair Share to see how you can help in this process. Let's get involved. Let's not wait. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much for your comments. In order for us to learn more about our rights as a community, about the obligations of nonprofit, tax-exempt healthcare providers, and about how we can all work together, the Fair Share Coalition will present a public education forum on Wednesday, February 23rd from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Illinois Disciples Foundation. The Illinois Disciples Foundation is located at 610 East Springfield in Champaign. We're planning to bring 2 national experts to present information and lead discussion at the forum. The name is Kevin Barnett from the Public Health Institute in California. He is a national expert on community benefits and the obligations of nonprofit healthcare providers. He has worked in many communities addressing mergers and acquisitions by healthcare providers. The other presenter will be Frank McLaughlin. He's an attorney with Community Catalyst in Boston and a national expert on laws and regulations governing nonprofit, tax-exempt health care providers and other charitable obligations. If you want further information about the forum, feel free to call, is it Bill Muller? Okay, at the Healthcare Consumers office at 352-6533. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you all very much for being here. We appreciate your coming. Thank you.